Welcome, holidazers, to Happy Hour Holidaze. We're here to help businesses out, help entrepreneurs, people that are starting businesses, life stories. We love it all. We started recently Friday features where we're featuring businesses every Friday, different ones and new ones. So, make sure to take a close look on that. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and we had Brad Bruner on there just recently with his new golf academy. So take a peek at that. He's a killer. He's helped my game out. I'm fucking loving it. A2P Academy. He's got all the youth. If you have a passion for golf or if you just want the fundamentals, he can help you out. The next one we got is Steven Garcia, which look out for this Friday. It's going to be a good one. Today in studio, we got Jason Anderson. He's owner and operator of Element Pressure Washing. If you need your driveway, pavers, anything that you need as far as pressure washing, this guy can do it. Ultimate business, 5-star service. So you guys really need to, hit him up if you need some pressure washing done. We got Sean Febre in studio as always, every week here as my co-host. So Jason, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
So let's jump into it. So Jason, pressure washing, but not just pressure washing. You also do paver sealing, you do soft washing of homes. Do you do roofs as well?
We do. Roof wash, paver sealing is a big thing that we focus on. Any kind of flat work, which would be concrete, driveways, sidewalks. Usually if we do a driveway, we're throwing in the sidewalks and doing the curbs. A majority of the jobs, house wash, which is more of a soft wash, and roof washing. And gutter cleaning, but that's not as big.
Yeah.
Florida, when I did it, I hated cleaning gutters.
Yeah.
Because as soon as all the shit gets down to the bottom, now you got to clean that up as well.
Yeah, and you're hauling trash sometimes.
Yeah, I never did that. I just blew it into the yard.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm not a big gutter fan, but no one's really requests just gutters. Usually it's the roof, and then you're dealing with the gutters at the same time.
Hey, Jason,
and pool cages.
I hated those too, man.
Yeah. They're difficult because you're spraying chemical, and you got to really protect people's shrubbery, and there's ways to do that. And I've got things that neutralize the chemicals and stuff. And so the setup takes longer than the actual cleaning does.
Yeah, but not only that, right? When you're actually doing the cleaning, you got to clean. So you got a frame. Yeah. And the frame has 3 sides that you can see plus the top. Yeah. So you got to clean this side, the bottom.
You're inside, outside, outside, inside.
It's insane, dude. And then, and then of course all the shrubbery outside of that. The screen itself isn't that hard to clean because you just spray a little chlorine on it, kills all the algae,
takes care of it.
You're done.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. And tell us one of the biggest things. I know here in Florida, there's a lot of tile roofs. And a lot of people, they don't soft wash them. Tell us the importance of soft washing those tile roofs so you can prevent some bigger problems.
So the bonus or the plus of soft washing your roof, it's going to help it live longer because the organics that grow on are actually breaking down your shingles and your tile roofs. And we have a process if it's one story, we don't set foot on your roof because especially tile roofs, you got to know how to walk a tile roof. Yeah. Which I know how to do, but if I don't have to walk a tile roof, we've got sprayer tips that'll shoot 30, 40 feet and we're soft washing. So we're just laying chemical down. And it's, not only does it beautify it, but it also prevents that breakdown. Mother Nature is always trying to get back to Mother Nature. So she's constantly going to break down whatever she can. And by doing that, you're going to have algae growth, which is breaking down your shingle or breaking down your tile roof. So you can prolong. If you soft wash your roof every 5 years, you'll add another 10 years to your roof easily.
Yeah, even every year, definitely if you have a lot of trees over the top of them. And that's the biggest thing that I've seen a lot of houses nowadays, especially tile roof houses with the tarps. Yeah. And they're so dirty, and I think it affects the tile roofs more than anything else as far as the shingles because that soft wash, like you said, the algae can, pretty much destroy it and cause leaks. And I think with the tile roof, it's more prominent to get those leaks than you think with shingles. So,
because you had a tile roof house at one point.
Yeah. And
do you like it or do you love it or hate it?
It looked good, but
they last longer. Yeah. They're more porous. So it's one of those things where you do want to have it washed more, but they do last longer,
What do normally, they say, 30 years?
They say that, but insurance now insurance is giving you 8 years on shingles, and I think they're giving you 10 or 12 on a tile roof to write you a new policy, that's a whole nother.
But if they soft washed it.
Yeah, and then you get an inspection, and they're like, oh, no, you got another 10, 15 years out of it, then you can
It's crazy. It's kind of like cleaning a car, right? Yeah. Because when you clean a car and you go to a dealership to sell it, you're going to get a higher value for that vehicle than if you take your dirty ass car to that same dealership. There could be nothing mechanically wrong with it, but because it looks just completely beat up, dealership's going to be like, it's only worth this. So the same thing goes for a roof. If the inspector goes there or the appraiser goes there, sees the roof looks almost brand new, even though it might be 10, 15 years old, it could also add value to the home as well, correct?
Totally. I think at this point we should just let Sean, go ahead and solicit for me. He knows his stuff, which is awesome. It makes my life easy.
Well, I had to clean a fucking dude. It was the worst. Apartment complexes.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, it paid well.
Yeah,
paid well.
Were they multi-level?
Yes,
you're
it was
like
2 stories
like a lift and stuff. Or,
yeah. I had to rent a boom lift with an articulating arm, and then it had the 4 legs that came down. It was fun because I never did that shit before. Right. And they asked you, "Have you ever operated one of these?" I was like, "Oh, of course." I was like,
no. My eyes closed.
At one point, I had a 60-footer. And it had I don't know if you guys ever seen them on the side of the road where they have the 4 tires and you drive it from the top. Yeah. So you can actually drive it from the bucket.
Yeah.
And that gets a little sketchy.
Yeah. You know? I've done like the scissor lift is what they call them, that were narrow. Like I worked in this record
it just goes place, up and down.
And when you get up, it would sway.
Oh.
Yeah. But I was doing in like a file. It was like a 3-story file place where they stored files, and you would get in and it would knock between the
inside a warehouse.
Yeah, but it was
and
like
it would still sway, huh?
Oh yeah. Once you get up there, I mean, it wouldn't fall over because you're in but you could get it to like. Of course, I was younger when I was doing that, so you'd try to.
It was fun though.
And then you'd race them. You get the next one, you'd race down the aisle.
I remember when
I never did that though.
I was responsible.
Yeah. I remember when I was doing that apartment complex or that townhomes. I don't know what the fuck they were. I think they were condos.
Yeah,
they were condos. And I would extend it, kind of like how these microphones are extended.
Right.
And bro, when the wind hits. I thought I was going to fall, man.
Yeah.
And then at one point I was like,
because you had the ones that were out on the arm, right?
Yeah.
Those are sketchy.
And at one point I was like, fuck it. You know what? These things are made not to fall. So at one point I just extended it all the way out to see if it would fall while I was in it.
Test it while you're on it.
I guess you've never seen those videos on YouTube with people that fall over in the water and they've got the trucks that have them that they're lifting something.
Oh shit! So they actually do fall?
Oh, yeah, they do.
I was pushing the limits.
Yeah, but it's usually they fall because the ground gives way. Like when you have the platform out, something.
Well, I put a little plywood underneath where the arms would go down. Now the ones with the tires, that one I felt completely safe with because that actual thing is like, I don't know, I think it said like 30 tons.
Yeah, they've got
some shit like
massive
that.
concrete weights in those things.
I was more worried about breaking the driveways than anything.
It's like a forklift. They got that big concrete weight in the back so you don't dump forward.
Cantilever type thing. So, all right, what would you say is the benefit of soft washing the exterior of a home?
So I'm the same. Well, you always want to soft wash. If someone wants to hit you for pressure washing, it's going to cause things where you get that chalky, ness on the outside. If you've ever rubbed your hand on paint or vinyl, which if you have that, you definitely want your house soft wash. Just to kind of put that out there. If someone comes to pressure wash, it's going to make that even worse. Whereas if you at least soft wash it, it helps prolong, just like the roof, it helps prolong the paint and everything. But if you are having that kind of breakdown, it'll help make it look good. But at some point, you are going to need, a paint job. But, again, it just keeps the breakdown of the elements breaking down your paint and breaking down if it's vinyl or whatever, if you got shingles or something on the outside of your home. But the whole point of soft washing the whole house period is just getting rid of the organics that are trying to break down your home and just prolong what you've done to it,
Now, I've also heard that what you should do prior to painting the exterior of a house is not soft wash it. Well, you can soft wash it, but also pressure wash it because you want to get all the bad dirt, paint, anything, just blow it off there. And then that way you can come back with a fresh coat of primer and then repaint. So working with a lot of painters is not a bad idea as well, right?
No. And I've worked with some painters, and that's when you don't soft wash because they want you. And they also, you dig away from the house a little bit because, they're going to, if you're with the right painting company, they're going to hit it from top, below the ground level. And you're hitting it usually with like a turbo tip, which is like this high power rotating tip that will basically, kind of like when they
it's like
strip
a surface,
a car. It's like a
surface cleaner, but for the tip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you're getting so that they can actually put on, because if you soft wash a house before they paint, you're going to get bubbling, you're going to get flaking and chipping because you didn't get, the loose stuff off. So that's when you would want to, heavy pressure wash your home is if you're going to get it painted. For sure.
And if you're in an HOA community, I mean, this is a must. I mean, pressure HOA. I mean, pressure washing your driveway. I mean, that's one of the most critical things, as far as like curb appeal. I mean, we want all the houses to look good.
Roofs, man. HOAs, man, they kill you on that. I just had a neighborhood that I used to live in, and I used some people on the street, and every single house on the street got dinged for their roofs. The roofs weren't that bad because they had the streaking,
the black, like
the black streaking, and they weren't even that bad, but they've got someone that drives around in a golf cart in their community. Just got nothing better to do. Yeah. And so, my thing is when it's something like that, say your average roof wash on a 2,500 square foot homes, say 600, 650, 7. I mean, I've seen them go up to 800, but when you get something like that, and I know a bunch of neighbors like, hey, I'm doing 5 homes. We're just do a bulk deal. So that's another thing that homeowners can try to look at is like, hey, get together with your neighbors if you all got dinged and, call me or,
discount pricing.
Yeah. And then just say, we've got 5 homes that need it. What can you do? And that to me works the best for the neighborhood. Whereas when you call someone that's just going to do one, you're going to get, that price to just do that one. Whereas, if you can knock out 3 houses and I don't have to come back, multiple days, it's gonna help everyone overall, and everyone's gonna save money.
And how do they approach you to get pricing? Like when it comes to, hey, I want to hire Element to do my house. What's the best way to get a hold of you to get pricing and to
call me?
Call you.
Yeah. You have a website?
I do have a website. It's elementpressurewash.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Google. All over Google.
Google My Business.
Yeah, Google My Business. We're on Google Local as well.
What is Google Local?
It's like their ad platform. I don't know why they don't work together because like you'll upload photos to Google My Business and then you have to go and upload the same photos to Google Local. They're 2 separate services, but do
you get like a green check?
Yeah, you get like this little badge thing. Yeah.
Yes.
And because you have to go through a background check. They verify that I'm insured. They verify that my license, I have to.
And you are insured.
I am insured.
Because you are Google
licensed.
Local.
Yes, I am. We've got $2 million of coverage, so we're good to go there. But yeah, they and you have to be commercially insured to get on the Google Local. And you got to upload it and they verify. And then you go to some background company that does a background check on you and all this stuff. So usually if you see someone that's got that, they've been through,
So guys, Jason is not a killer.
Yeah, I've been background checked and good to go. But yeah, calling me, text me, email me. I mean, I'll respond to all of that stuff. And I usually like to go out and meet with the clients and the customers to give quotes. But I can do stuff over the phone depending on what it is.
Do you ever use Google Earth to measure and all that? Yeah, that's where it's a great tool.
If
right?
someone wanted like, hey, I need my driveway or I need my paver sealed, and
you can measure it,
and I couldn't go out there. Say that they were a half hour away from me, and I'm like, well, let me jump on, and I would measure it and say, all right, we're looking at 2,000 square feet, and this is what I can do it for.
And what kind of sealant do you use for those pavers? The highest of qualities, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so I've got a company that I'm sponsored with. It's Trident. They've got a sealant called Cat 5. It's awesome.
Is it like the wet look?
You can go wet look. Depends on how many coats. It depends on if I'm sanding. If I'm not sanding, you're going a little bit lighter. But if you are sanding, you're wanting to lock that in, and you're doing like a flood coat, which locks the sand in, so you're not getting that growth. You're not getting the sand wash out. Most of them are going to need sanding because they're already growing stuff. So you're going to go in there and blast all of their current sand out, and then you're going to resand it. And it's a process. You can. Most of the times you can get it done in a day, but usually it's 2 days.
What do you do with the old sand? Do you shovel it up into a trash
If there's
can?
a lot, I do. Yeah. If there's not, then it's
blow it into
wash
an
it
inlet.
out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I've had that where when I first kind of got started and I was doing that, and there was and I didn't really know that I would get that much, and then trying to wash it down.
It's a pain, right?
And then you're like trying to blow it on the grass. But now it's like it's get too much. You shovel in a bucket and you just get rid of it.
And tell us a little bit about your background, Jason. Like, what got you inspired to start the pressure washing business?
Oh, that's it's funny how I ended up there. My background is actually in insurance. I had an insurance agency for 15 years, and a little tired of sitting behind a desk. I sold my agency 6 years ago, and I've had a sales background. And
what kind of insurance?
Property and casualty. Okay. Home, auto, commercial stuff.
Not like health insurance or anything.
No. And we had a little bit of health, but it was mostly property and casualty. And, after doing that, I was, I've been in sales, and I was, doing sales after that with commercial flooring companies. And then I had an opportunity to actually purchase a commercial cleaning business. I was looking into doing that, and they would do floors, and they were doing car dealerships. And then, I'd always kind of been interested in the pressure washing and the paver sealing side of things. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is something I could add to it. Well, then the sale fell through. So I just kind of continued and moved on with the pressure washing. And my girlfriend has a cleaning business, residential and commercial. And so she's always getting people that want windows, and she was referring things. And I was like, well, this is a no brainer, at least for that aspect.
You want to plug her business? What's the name of her business?
Bliss Cleaning Services.
Okay.
So is it like just going into a house and doing the floors, doing the kitchen? Like, what exactly is that about?
Oh, her cleaning business?
Yeah.
It's the whole, right now, residential, they start with like a deep clean, usually their first clean, and they go through and they're doing baseboards and they're
grout.
That's a great question. I'm not sure if she does.
I think Stanley Steamers does the grout.
I thought Stanley Steamers did carpet.
Yeah, they do carpet too. Yeah,
it's funny because the business I looked at purchasing had like the grout cleaners, and the floor cleaners, and all that kind of stuff. And
that's got to be a bitch, man. Honestly,
I think it's a lot of it's chemical, and it's the machine, how good your machines are. And that's kind of like with the pressure washing. Yeah. You can have the guy with the pressure washer in his trunk that's getting 2 gallons per minute, or you can have me who pulls up with 8 gallons a minute. That I've got a 300-gallon tank, and so I'm gonna have a lot more rinsing power. I'm gonna have the chemicals. I know how to mix my stuff. I've got the mixing valves and rinsing.
What neutralizer do you use for the grass and the landscaping?
So I've got 2 different types of neutralizer. It's like a pouch of this I don't know what's in it, some sort of powder that I can put in the drains, and that actually once it washes through it, it neutralizes it. And then I've got this, it's a chemical it's a bleach neutralizer that you mix and spray, with a bug sprayer.
Do you ever go to Ameritech?
I don't.
Nebraska?
Well, because he's over in Newport Richie, though.
Oh, yeah. So I'm in like Oldsmar, Odessa a lot. I do stuff in Tampa and Lutz and Wesley Chapel.
I'll shout out Ameritech. Ameritech is the best pressure washing place I've ever been to.
Yeah, well, I'll check them out. Where are they at?
They're like you just go down Bears and make a right on Florida, and they're right there on the right. You can't miss them. They got a fucking like 1,000-gallon tank that goes straight up.
Yeah, so it's funny. There's a pool supply company that I can get my. It's I don't even know the name of it. They're in the West Pasco Industrial, and they've got a great price on it, so I'll get a lot of my chemicals there. But then there's a Texas Pressure Washing, which is in Oldsmar, which is closer to me. And I was driving up to Spring Hill to Cigar City Soft Wash, which was a 40-minute drive, which would be Ameritech would have been a better option.
Yeah. All right. And when we get back, we'll ask Jason, when it comes to the weather, especially Florida heat, why is it so important to pressure wash your house and other fucking A.
Man, he does no shit.
We'll be right back. And we're back. sorry guys, I had a brain fart over there. All right, and we were talking about the paver ceiling. Why is important, especially here in Florida. I mean, we got some hot heat. You know, the humidity.
Hot heat.
You know,
what else is
the
heat
heaters?
cold?
The heaters. You know, so
Hot heat, I like it.
I mean, look, there's other places that are hot, but over here it's hot heat.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got that humidity.
Oh, dog,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
went to fucking Arizona, dog. That shit.
You been
That
to
shit
Costa
wasn't
Rica?
nothing.
There's hot
Oh
heat.
yeah, I've
in
been to
Costa
Costa
Rica.
Rica.
Rica. Yeah, I've been to Costa Rica.
That's some real hot
Yeah,
heat.
it was. I think I went in May. I don't know if it was like more towards the
that
rainy
summer?
season or whatever.
I don't get.
But-
like,
I went in
summer-
June, man, and my clothes were sticking to me.
Yeah,
It was
I mean,
so
that's how I feel it is over here, anyways. But I love it, man. Like everybody's like, "Oh fuck, summer's coming." I'm like, "Bring it on."
Yeah.
The only reason I like summer is because of lower fees at golf courses. That is the only reason.
But I like the pool. Like I almost spent all my time in the pool. That's
with you, man.
that's
when I had
what
my boat, man. That's
Damn, you had a boat?
Yeah.
I've had a couple of them. I'm in between boats.
What kind of boat?
So I've
You ever had an
center
express
consoles.
cruiser?
A what?
Express cruiser?
What is that?
It's got a cabin underneath the front of the. So you walk up, so you have everything in the back,
Right.
and then it has a door, and it's got a cabin with a kitchenette.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then a
Yeah, like
bathroom,
sleeper,
a bed,
yeah.
all that bullshit. It's like a mini yacht.
No, I had a friend that had one, and it takes up a lot of space unless you're like staying on the boat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The best boat I had was my Tritune, which is the one you went on.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And it was like a floating living room.
What's a
It's-
Tritune?
It's like a pontoon, but it's got 3 tubes. So you're actually on top of the water. A pontoon pushes the water. Tritune's on top of the water, and it is a floating living room.
How
like
big
it's
was it?
couches, 25 feet,
Damn.
and it's like 2 couches.
It was
here,
cozy.
couch
We
there.
had quite a few people
Oh
on
yeah,
there.
I got 12 people on that thing all the time.
Yeah.
My center console boat, I had a 27-foot center console. I could get like 8-9 people.
Yeah.
And it was still
Where
crammed.
were you dropping from?
Dunedin. I
Not Anclo, huh?
no. I did Anclote when I had my center console.
I love Anclo, bro.
Bro, that rip that current though, like when you're coming in, like you'll be coming to the dock and you're coming this way, and it's like
Because you got the Anclo River right there.
it's-
Yeah.
Dude,
But I mean, you got Caladesi Island, you got Anclo Key.
so that's why Caladesi. So I put in Dunedin, which is right. It was Pirates Cove, which you came out and you're right at Caladesi, and you'd go to Caladesi, and I'd go and hang on the outside of Caladesi.
Do you ever go in the intercoastal where those little islands are in the middle?
They're 3 Rooker.
Bro, yeah, Three Rooker.
I love
Yeah,
Three Rooker, man.
bro. And then I don't know if you ever how far south you went, but me and my wife, when we had our jet ski, we would take it all the way from Anclo all the way to Siesta Key. And we came across one of these little islands in the middle of the intercoastal. It had a fucking tree house, man.
Oh, nice.
Yes. It was
I used to
insane.
go all the way down to like Egmont Key.
That's where I.
Egmont
That's where I
nice.
always hung out. I always did Madeira Beach area, and they had so many fucking islands there: Shell Key, Egmont, Sand Dollar Key.
Yeah. Egmont's got like the clearest water.
Yeah.
In the winter.
There's a really cool spot if you're right there where Honeymoon Island is, and you're on the intercoastal. So when they dredged back, I don't know if it was in the 70s or 60s, when they dredged the intercoastal, they just left the dirt. And if you see those little islands inside the intercoastal, it's just
Is
from
that
the
what it
dredging.
is?
Yeah, they just formed
Oh,
islands.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So there's one island there just
There's shrubbery and
just north of Honeymoon Island on the intercoastal that you can camp on. And it's like laid out, and like we've camped there 2 or 3 times, and it's, you have this one shot where you have the front and the back side and just the wind, and you like wake up and the sun's coming. It's like you're in the Caribbean.
I've done that before, man. I was, believe it or not, I had a great
He was
jet
naked
ski.
and afraid.
I had a great jet ski.
You go to all the islands.
More naked, less afraid.
I had a 2020 Seadoo GTI. I think it was like 170 or 180, one of those. But in the front of the jet ski, it had, what you pull up, and it's got all that storage area.
Yeah.
But the storage area was fucking huge. I was able to fit a tent, an anchor, a stove, and me and my wife, we just pull up to these islands at night. Boom, drop the anchor on both sides.
That's awesome.
And then just camp on those islands in the middle.
Quickest way to get out there.
Yeah.
Some of those new jet skis, like they've got coolers on the back.
That's what I had.
Yeah, okay, so
I had a
those are
cooler in the
huge.
back.
Yeah, those
I had
are
the
massive.
two
They're like
speakers
boats.
on
That's
the
not a jet
side.
ski.
Yeah.
It's like a
It was
inline boat.
Bro, it was 14 feet 6 inches.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a
14
small one.
Yeah, that's like a John boat, man.
And then we could fit 3 people on there, but it was just me and my wife. So we never really would unless our niece was coming.
Yeah.
But It was the funnest time. I want to buy a boat, but I want an express cruiser so I could just anchor out in the middle of the Gulf and sleep inside the motherfucking boat.
If you want to do that, express cruiser all day long. But if you're not like wanting to do that, it takes up a lot of space. Because my friend had one.
What do you mean by it takes up a lot of space?
Of hangout space. So when you're cruising and
Which
hanging out,
with.
everyone's wanting to be outside. And you just have the back half to hang out.
Yep.
And then you can go on the top.
Yes.
But if you're just doing that, like my friend had that type of boat and then he would go and put it in the marina and go home. He never stayed on it.
Really?
Or he would stay on it at the marina sometimes, which is kind of cool because you hang out with other people in the marina.
Yeah.
But it was like he never went out and like anchored and stayed in it. And he was just like, it's a waste of space.
To me, that's the whole fucking point of it.
I agree. That's why I don't buy one unless you're going to do it. Unless you like hanging out in the marina and hanging out with people.
I don't really care for that.
Yeah, like it's like a whole nother
just trying to make,
space.
Sea babies.
Yeah. You can do that.
I mean, we're talking about pressure washing, but we went into
it's all good.
I mean,
man.
boats are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Bro.
Hey, we can clean
You
boats.
fish? You fish off your boat? Yeah, actually, you can. Yeah. You ever fish off? What kind of boat? You said the Trident with the living room.
Yeah, the Trident. But I had a center console, which is a fishing boat.
How many motors did you have on the back?
One.
One.
Yeah, I had a 300.
How far out did you take it?
The center console.
Yeah,
I think we maybe 60 miles as far as we went out.
On one engine?
Yeah.
Please tell me you had
brand
a Coast Guard
brand new Yamaha, man. You got to trust those Yamaha.
Please tell me you got a fucking Coast Guard beacon or something, a satellite phone, something, man.
We had faith.
We had that's what it sounds like.
We had a paddle.
We had a paddle.
It was a brand new Yamaha, like 300. So I was, I didn't want to go out any further than that. And then,
have you heard of this trek? If you drop out of Fort Lauderdale, it's only 50 miles to Bimini.
Really?
Yeah. So you could actually cross the Gulf Stream and be in the Bahamas 50 miles. So I was planning on taking my jet ski out there. And then my wife's like, you're absolutely out of your mind. You're not doing that.
Yeah.
So I never did.
That'd be kind of cool. It's not a bad trip.
Yeah.
But then you got to make the trip over there and tow it. And,
Well, what do you mean tow it? No, I was going to ride my jet ski across it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a little bit sketch.
Yeah.
It's just like a group of people, you know?
With not by myself. Yeah, no, with people. But you also have to bring gas cans. Because I took regular unleaded. Mine wasn't like, I got to pour in oil mixture, all that bullshit. Yeah. No, it's brand new.
2-stroke.
No, it wasn't a 2-stroke. 4-stroke.
No. Straight up with the gas.
Yeah, that's all it was. I mean, we all like 4 strokes though.
All right, so paver ceilings.
Back to paver ceiling.
Yeah.
Killed about 10 minutes on that.
Yeah, there we go.
So the benefits, Jason, paver ceiling, I mean, how often should you do it? What are the advantages of doing it?
So everyone's going to try to give you a warranty or say that it lasts so long. I usually tell people if you can do it every 2 years, if you want them looking like the day that they were installed. The issue with pavers as the sealer wears off is they've got aggregate in a lot of the pavers, unless you're buying really, really high-end pavers, which, some people do buy those, but a lot of the builder grade pavers have a lot of aggregate. And aggregate's like little stones and pebbles. Like if you ever see how concrete gets washed out, the pebbles showing up, that's the aggregate. Yeah. Pavers have the same aggregate, and as they get washed over and over and, drains are on the driveway, you're going to start seeing those pebbles coming up. Now, if you hit it with sealer every 2 years, and you can actually get it done easier if you're just recoating every 2 years to where it's just going to keep that protected longer. It's going to keep the color because the heat and the sun down here is brutal and bleaches them. Now, we have things that you can enhance the color with. But if you're really wanting to dye and go into that avenue, that's a whole nother ball game, which you can do. Yeah. And you can change the color of some of them. It can be expensive depending on what you want to do there. But I usually tell everyone like if, every 2 years is a good rule of thumb.
Now, as far as like the wet look and the dry look, is there any advantages or is it just complete preference?
Wet look is actually slippier.
It can be. And sometimes if they want it super wet, you got to add like a grit to it. Because otherwise you'll bust your ass.
Yeah, but it looks fucking amazing.
I do like how it looks.
I mean, not only that, but the wet look also, when the water falls on top of it, this is if you know that you have had your paver sealed correctly. When the water falls on top of it, it balls up.
Yeah, it beads.
It beads and just
it's like waxing your car.
Or a Rain-X, right?
Yeah, we're like Rain-X. Yeah,
and the wet look looks good. And some people want like a matte. So I've got things that you can do a matte finish. You can do a semi, gloss. You can do eggshell like gloss, or you can go all the way to the wet look.
Eggshell.
Wet look is basically just
looks like it's wet.
Yeah, it's just, and it's like usually 3 coats. You're just putting more coat, and you're just building it up, and then you just got that.
What can people expect, say, for a 2-car garage driveway that just fits a car on each side and no other cars? What would people expect to pay for something like that?
Well, it's funny you say that, because years ago you could expect $500-600, but the paver sealing chemicals themselves have tripled in price as everything did after COVID, right? I would say on average you could find just a clean and seal, probably in the $750 range.
Oh, it's still reasonable.
It's reasonable, but I know I've had friends that have gotten quotes in the $1,200 to $1,500 range for that same driveway.
That's what I was expecting.
Yeah, actually. And which that's if you're sanding it and really deep clean. But if you're just like cleaning it and just like a 1-coat seal, $750, which is still enough to protect it as long as they're in good shape. Now, if they're in rough shape, it's one of those things where sometimes you got to put your eyes on it and like, hey, this isn't really. We can do the $750 job, but if you really want it to look good, we need to sand it. We need to do 2 coats on here to kind of bring it back, and maybe put an enhancer to bring your color back. And then you're looking at like the $1,200, $1,500 range.
So what is the duration that it lasts between, say, 1 coat or 3 coats? So between the $750 job and the $1,500 job, are they gonna have to redo it in a year if they only pay $750, or if they paid the $1,500, they could redo it in 3 years?
You should have the same limit because you're using the same chemical. You're just not using.
But the coating is thicker.
It is, but once it absorbs into your pavers, you're supposed to have at least a 2-year, and then it's supposed to start to break down. I mean, people go usually. You'll find most people go 5-6 years before they do it. That's usually kind of the norm. Because I mean, I get it. Everyone doesn't want every 2 years, forking over $700-800.
Even though it does look good. I mean, if you're gonna have the pavers, if you're gonna just have it look like blah, then I mean, fucking have concrete. But if you if you went expensive with the pavers, I mean, they're like probably about $10,000 or $12,000 to do a driveway
easily. And what happens too there is if you do your every 2 years, or if you wait till that 5 or 6 years, now that $600-700 job is now going to be $1,800 to $2,000, because now it's going to be, you got to clean it out. You got to sand it. You got to color enhance it. You're putting on multiple layers. So it's just costing. So if you would have just maintained it, it ends up costing almost the same amount of money, but you waited those 6 years to do it and to bring it back to life. Whereas you can maintain it, but you know how that goes. Some people like to maintain their stuff, and some people are like, and then also they wake up when they're like, man, this looks really bad. It's like we need to get something done. And it's like, well,
like me personally, for my house, I get my house soft washed once a year.
Yeah.
And I get my driveway done by my wife. Thank you. She's got a tiny little surface cleaner. Nice. But, okay. So what if, and I don't know if people offer this or not, what if when you go and do a concrete driveway, you seal it?
So
do you have to pressure wash it after that? New
concrete sealing is great.
Not new concrete. I'm talking about existing concrete.
But existing concrete. So there can be some issues if you clean it and you seal like old concrete.
Yes.
Because even though you clean it and you get rid of all the organics and you make it look really good and you get the dirt and all that stuff out of there, there are some things that will, when you do put the sealer on, like if you use tire shine or you use things like you clean your car, well, it shows up. So you'll put the sealer on and all of a sudden you'll see these like weird little marks, or like if you've done the tire shine on your driveway, it has a little like half moon where your tires were. That will show up sometimes. So sometimes you'll have those things they'll brought out. Now it will keep your driveway clean longer. That is true.
Is that something that you've thought about offering? Do you offer that?
I do offer it. It's not something a lot of people with concrete driveways, I
don't think a lot of people with concrete driveways understand that this is available.
Like new home builds, I recommend it. Like, hey, it's new concrete before it gets the silicone stains or rust stains or stains from oak trees or whatever, you're going to get on there. Or if you've got a well system that's sprinklers, you're going to get the rust stains.
Well's going to fuck your shit up.
Like stain, like get it it sealed from the get go.
So, what I was going to say, what about cool decks too? I mean, cool decks, can you seal those? Yeah. I mean, I know that still there's a lot of Florida houses that still have cool decks.
Out by the
out by the pool, instead of having pavers.
No, you can, especially like if they're done with the pebbles, pebble tech stuff. You can seal that stuff.
Well, I think he's talking about just
regular cool deck.
Like a regular cool deck, they're usually sprayed with a paint. They're like a spray-crete or something.
Mm-hmm. But can you seal that? I mean, you can seal anything, right?
You can. You can seal anything. I don't know if I would seal it.
You wouldn't. Yeah.
I mean, because you've already got that protectant of a paint or like a spray-crete or something.
The paint's got its own protection, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Usually on the concretes, because and if you've if they've done some sort of an epoxy out there, or I don't know what everyone's cool decks are made out of, but. Now travertine's huge.
Oh yeah,
that you have to seal.
You need to seal.
Yeah, that you have to seal. They're porous as fuck.
I have a friend that did the travertine, spent a lot of money, and he never got it sealed, and
ruined it.
No, it's growing stuff constantly. So I go out there every quarter to clean it. And I'm like, we need to seal this.
No.
To seal it, we got to move all this stuff out.
I know. That's what
you just said. Go in there every quarter. No, dog.
Hey, but he's in the best interest of the client.
It's like, I know I'm I don't want to shoot myself in the foot, but at the same time, it's like, I want to give the best advice possible. But it's nice.
This guy's an honest guy, Jason. What an honest guy.
But going out there every quarter, cleaning it, it's
not bad. I mean, you probably hit the screen too and stuff like that.
So it's knock it out. Whereas sealing would be more.
So, Jason, we learned all about your business today.
And about boats.
All kinds of stuff.
Where to camp.
So, what do you want to tell the audience? So we usually have final words. It's either motivation or if you just want to plug your business and, tell people how to get to you. Whatever you got, 2 minutes is yours.
Oh, man. Put me on the spot there.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys letting me come in here and do this. And I appreciate being a part of this. And, hit me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Google. You can check me out on all those. You can check out my reviews, 5-star rated on Google. And, I'd be glad to, answer questions, free estimates, and you can pick my brain on stuff. And I'd just be glad to help anyone,
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I mean, 5-star business, that's what, everybody wants to work with. You get customer service and you get somebody with a lot of knowledge. As we saw today, every question that Sean shot, Jason was able to answer it, no problem.
Call and talk about boats? I don't know a lot about them, but I like talking about them.
Hey, speaking of 5-star businesses, Febre Frameworks is a 5.0 with over 580 reviews.
Nice.
So if you're a realtor out there in the area, check out Febre Frameworks. We'll take care of that property so well that all you have to do is list it. We sell it. Just kidding. You guys do some work.
Yeah. No, and thank you, Holidazers, for watching and listening to Happy Hour Holidays. You can check us out on all the major platforms, and then as well, we're starting to do more with social media. The Friday features with a lot of businesses. We're going to be having Element on there as one of our Friday features, so we're really excited to do the video for there. And then we got one coming up with Steven Garcia, which is going to be pretty awesome with his program that he helps all the youth. Thank you for watching, and tune in next week.